Good afternoon here. We've had a long day again. We're down here at the federal courthouse. We're going to let Brand go ahead and blow his shofar for a second. That was Brand Thornton blowing the shofar, as everybody probably remembers this sound from all these trials. But we've got some big news today. We're down here at the courthouse. We've had a long day. We sat in the courtroom or the hallway for a couple hours today after lunch, waiting on a sealed hearing to finish. And they finally let us in late this afternoon, just for a short time. But we'll go on with Ammon's. That was all about Ammon's detention hearing. And then we'll go into some breaking news here shortly.
Yeah, so Ammon was denied pretrial release. We don't understand why. They said that he's still a threat to the public. They gave all the same reasons that they basically gave with Cliven, and it didn't make a whole lot of sense because he answered all of the questions he needed to answer about his time in the jail and the write-ups that he received, and they explained how those were predominantly focused around the strip searches, that they're not a threat to the public, that these things wouldn't be happening if they weren't in jail. But at the end of that, it was heartbreaking to see Lisa and the rest of the family when they denied his release. But then there was new information because the prosecution had lied last week about some issues with Ryan and his past. And
so Ryan Bundy, it was kind of a shock to all of us because we wasn't in that sealed hearing. But Ryan Bundy is going to be released within about an hour. So that's the big news. That was a big change from last week when they denied Ryan Bundy. And the government, the prosecutors had lied about some of the incidents that involved Ryan Bundy, such as him being tased. That was a lie. The other incident was him using foul language at the marshals, and the marshals had that wrote down in a statement against Ryan Bundy. That came out, it was a false that the marshals had given. So with this false information, they decided to go ahead and let Ryan Bundy out. So Ryan Bundy will be released to a halfway house here within about an hour, supposedly from this courthouse right here in Las Vegas.
Yep, Angie will be able to transport him to the halfway house, so their children are being brought in right now and will hopefully be here by the time he walks out. We were thinking about bringing the camera maybe up to the doors and getting the reactions from the family members about Ryan being released. He was very happy. He kept turning around and smiling at Angie, and of course that's comforting for all of us, even though Ammon is sitting there facing Lisa, knowing that he won't be released. But maybe we could go up and get some of their reactions.
So we'll walk up that way as we kind of keep going with some of the information we've got. We know that there was a lot of stuff they fought over that we don't even know all the details. But we know that they fought for several hours behind closed doors in a sealed proceeding about Ammon and some other things. So we
know that Morgan filed a last-minute sealed hearing motion last night. We don't know what the results of that are yet.
Larry Klayman also filed a new lawsuit involving Cliven Bundy for the Bundys. So they're probably going to wait to come back.
Yeah, so what we're going to do now is, it looks like everybody's actually heading back to the back corner where he'll be released from. Do we want to just stay live until he's released for an hour?
We'll go back there and see.
Yeah.
Well, if we get low on battery, we might have to charge back up, but we will show you live when Ryan comes out of the back doors here of the courthouse. Several things of Ammon's detention that was keeping him from getting released today that the prosecution brought up. One was that he had contraband and that he was caught in possession of it. We found out what that was. That contraband was a thumb drive
of his own
discovery.
Because other people had their discovery stolen, and he didn't want to lose it after he left the law library, so he kept his thumb drive with him. And that was one of the reasons he was written up, and it was listed as a extreme offense. But if you think about what's going on here, we have people that are literally staying detained because they were caught with their own discovery in jail when they shouldn't be in jail to start with. They should be out on bail. So it's almost like they create the problem and then they use the results to continue punishing you.
Another thing was, remember back in Camp Liberty, there was a T-shirt incident that actually resulted in Ammon Bundy being thrown in the hole for quite some time. That was one of the reasons they did not allow him also to be released. But the big news is, what's that?
Is this the corner they said?
No, they're going to go back down there. But I would say everybody's going to be waiting for about an hour. It's going to be some time.
So maybe we should go off.
And we are going to come back live. So what we're going to do is, again, anybody joining in right now that hasn't heard what happened, Ryan Bundy is being released on a pretrial detention type thing. He will be put on an ankle bracelet. He will be put at a halfway house tonight at least. And so, but Ryan Bundy is being released tonight from the courthouse here. It was a big surprise to all of us. We mainly knew that we were going to be here for Ammon's detention hearing today, and we heard almost nothing of Ammon.
Yeah.
Very little, probably publicly less than 30 minutes.
Yeah, the judge had already clearly made up her mind about Ammon and him not being released, much like what she did to Cliven. There is no reason that Ammon should be detained and Ryan should be released. They all should be out. But we are going to celebrate tonight, that Ryan is being released, that his family will be able to hug him. He'll be able to hold his babies that he hasn't held in 2 years. And then we're just going to pray that something changes and throughout this trial that, a miracle happens and that they're released, and so that they don't have to spend the next 4 months fighting this trial. They get up at 3 in the morning. They leave the jail at 4 in the morning. They're not back to their cell until 9 o'clock at night. So for those of you who don't understand the importance of bail, how can you fight your case when you're getting up at 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning, you're not back to your cell till 9 o'clock at night, then you need to call family, call home, maybe check in with your attorney. You barely have enough time to get a good night's sleep. It's rigged from the beginning to work against these defendants when they deny bail, which is why the Bill of Rights is so important to guarantee a fair trial.
We'll have you some new news on some of the other procedures today. Probably tomorrow. We'll update you on everything we can. But give us about an hour. We will be back. We'll update you as Ryan Bundy walks out of this courthouse here in just about an hour.
And also be praying for the other defendants of the last trial. I anticipate now that Ryan's been released, I anticipate that all of the last group would be released. Their threat level is supposed to be the lowest of anybody. They're not leaders in any of this. Dave Bundy was just taking pictures. So I would anticipate good things to continue coming, and maybe even in the next week the rest of them could start filing their release motions and potentially get released. And of course Michael McGuire might be released tomorrow morning, depending on how his change of plea hearing goes. So lots of good stuff. Keep watching, keep sharing.
We'll be back in about an hour. Thank you guys.